Video editing is definitely one of the hardest and most time-intensive parts of making video content. For many people, when they sit down to edit a video, they're just winging it. If you don't have a clear process for editing, then you're going to be wasting a whole lot of time down the track. So in this video, I'll be taking you through the tried and tested process used by professional video editors to cut their editing time in half. Hey, Joel Garman here with Videoshift Media. We're all about equipping you with the best tools, knowledge, and practices to level up every area of your video creation and marketing skills to save time and create content like a pro. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you can find all the links mentioned in this video in the description box below. So let's go. Like anything, video editing is a skill you learn and get better at over time. If you're very new to editing, you can't expect to know how to do everything straight away. And if you've been stuck trying to edit for a while and gotten nowhere, it might be because of the processes you've been using. Try to tackle video editing logically, in the same process every time, and it will become second nature. While we go through the steps of this process, drop a comment below about which video editing software you're using right now. Once we've gone through the entire process, make sure you stick around because we'll be going over 3 bonus tips for preparing your laptop or desktop computer for faster video editing right now. Alright, let's get stuck in. The number one process for editing your videos faster. Step 1, plan your video shoot goals. Before starting any video, you should have a clear plan on your goals and objectives. This will avoid wasting any time on lack of direction. Use these questions to form a plan. What is the purpose of my video? Who is my target audience or niche? What is the maximum length I want this video to be? What should the viewer take away from this video? And what is my call to action? Step 2, shoot your video. Before you start recording, try to remove things you can't control. This is best done indoors. How quiet is the room? If you can hear the refrigerator or an aircon, your microphone will too. How about lighting? Can you close the curtains and use video lights instead to avoid changes to lighting from the sun or the clouds outside? A pro tip is to shoot a test shot and download it to your computer while doing your setup, so you can see if you'll need to change anything on camera. This protects against spending ages filming the whole video only to get to your computer and realize the lighting looks weird, or you can see a camera in a reflection. On the test shot, check for video or audio distractions. How's the lighting on your face? Is the background interesting or is it too distracting? While recording on camera, make notes of your best takes by clapping your hands after each take. 1 clap is okay, 2 claps for good, 3 claps for best. This way, when you get to the edit room, you'll be able to quickly find the best take for that section and save yourself time. And a pro tip, after you've finished filming, do a few fun poses as freeze frames. You can use these later in your edit for the video thumbnail if you're uploading to YouTube. Step 3, import your footage and get organized. When downloading your footage onto your computer, create a master folder with the name of your project. For example, YouTube Video 1. In this folder, organize everything you will need for your edit and make a folder for each element separately. Video, audio, music, SFX or sound effects, and graphics. Some editing programs like Adobe Premiere will allow you to import the entire folder structures with all the files you already organized by simply dragging and dropping in the master folder. This is a process you should be trying and doing before you even enter your editing program. Step 4, edit your project in story order. So after you've opened your editing program and after importing all your files into that program, create a timeline or a sequence and drop in all of your video files in the order that you want your story to be. At this early stage, focus on just getting all of the footage into the timeline and don't start cutting anything yet. Likewise, ignore your audio, music, and graphics files for now. This will come later. Step 5, find your markers for the best takes. After you have all the video files you need in the timeline, work your way backwards and find the claps you did on camera in step 2. Keep only the best takes of each section so that you're only left with the takes you are most happy with. This will save you time later as you already know it's your best stuff. Step 6, edit your clips down to a rough cut. Once you have all of your best video takes in story sequence, watch through and do another viewing pass to start cutting out the bits of each take that you don't need. The start of a clip is called the head, and the end of a clip is called the tail end. A lot of the time you will be cutting either the head or the tail end of a clip, or both, to leave only the section that you need for your video. Step 7, use keyboard shortcuts. Using keyboard shortcuts to do your editing will literally cut your editing time in half. It's the difference between using one hand or two hands to do something. Whichever software you're using, go to the keyboard shortcuts in your menu or preferences and write down the most important ones on a notepad next to you for reference. The cutting tool, cursor tool, zoom in and out, play and pause, fast forward and fast reverse are some good ones to start with. Leave a comment below if you're keen to see a video on the keyboard shortcuts I use. Step 8, watch through your rough cut and refine. After finishing your rough cut, watch it through again and make refined cuts as you go. Most editing programs use the J, K and L keys for play, pause and reverse. Give these a try as you play through with your left hand. You can double tap L or J to double the speed if you find it faster. Pro tip, add in markers on your timeline where you want to add in text, graphics or titles in the later steps. Step 9, create a backup copy. Now this is a really important step. Now that you've spent some time on this project, you should be saving your work every 10 minutes or have the autosave feature turned on in your preferences. For extra security, I like to create a duplicate copy of my sequence or timeline before reaching the next step, because things can go wrong from here. We're all human and we can all make mistakes sometimes. Step 10, edit down again to your fine cut. Do another pass and watch through the video. Try to view it from your audience's perspective to keep the video fast and engaging. Cut out any of the remaining fluff. Once you're totally happy with your video files, move on to the next step. This is called a picture lock, as you shouldn't change any cuts after this unless you have to, because this will change the total length and timing of your video. Step 11, add in your audio files and refine. Now you can add your audio files to the edit. This could be a music track or a voiceover file for the content of your video. Make sure to be careful that you don't paste over your audio linked to your video track. That's an easy mistake to make. Take note of which tracks you place your music or audio on. This is a common mistake that people accidentally insert clips over other clips in their timeline and lose their work. Step 12, add your text, titles and graphics. Search for any markers you created for titles or graphics in the previous steps on your timeline. Focus on timing and placement of your title pages. Ask yourself, is this title page really necessary? Is it long enough for people to read if it is? I generally leave logos and title pages until the end of my videos if I can with the call to action. If you want captions or subtitles for your video, this would be a good time to do them. Step 13, add video effects and transitions. You can place video transitions over any cuts that don't look pretty to add a professional flowing feel to your video. Dip to black or white, cross dissolve, are all simple yet effective video transitions. For effects, you could stabilize any shaky footage here or add a different effect. Now what's to note is this step may make your computer work harder, and this is why we've left it until now. Step 14, the color grade. Now this step is optional because sometimes you may already like how the video looks coming straight out of the camera, but if it needs a boost in brightness or color to achieve your desired look, now is the time to tweak it. As a pro tip, use an adjustment layer on the top video track to make the color adjustments affect the entire video, not just a single clip. Again, with this step, color grading is a video effect that may make your computer run slower as it struggles to preview all of your changes. Step 15, the sound mix. Once you're happy with how your visuals look, move on to evening out all of your audio clips. This is called the sound mix. Now your voice on camera and your voiceover should be the same volume, peaking around -6 dB. Music should peak around -24 dB for loud tracks and -18 dB for quiet tracks. Using headphones here is essential to achieve the best results and hear what your viewers are hearing. Make sure to play through again a couple different ways, like unplugging headphones and listening through your laptop speakers. This is to see if your sound mix still sounds like you intended it to. Step 16, export and review. Once you think your video is finished, export your video with your desired settings. It's likely that you'll notice some minor mistakes. Make sure to watch on a couple different screens so you can see if things look different on a different screen like a TV, laptop or a mobile. Better to pick up on these mistakes now than after it's gone live. Step 17, final tweaks after review. Go back and make any final tweaks to your video that you notice while reviewing the exported video file. Step 18, export and upload. Export the final version in your desired upload settings and watch the video through a final time before uploading to ensure nothing went wrong. By this time, you're probably sick of watching it, which means you did a great job. When I feel this way, it usually means it's time to go live. Only this time without any mistakes. Congratulations, you've finished your video. Now hopefully you can learn and implement this process each time you go to edit a video. I promise it will save you loads of time, frustration, and it will help you catch any mistakes before you go live. If you found this video helpful, please smash that thumbs up button because now it's time for my 3 bonus tips for preparing your desktop or laptop computer for faster editing right now. Pro tip number 1 is to use a laptop or a desktop that's fast enough to edit with in the first place. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer, but video editing is one of the most processor-intensive things you can ask your machine to do. The 3 biggest things you need to have is a good processor with multiple cores like an Intel i5 or i7, a good graphics card like NVIDIA cards found on most gaming machines, and a good amount of RAM to help your computer multitask with things like having your internet browser open or playing music while you edit. I would recommend a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM for a smooth editing experience, but you could get away with 8 gigabytes in some cases too. Pro tip number 2 is make sure you unclog your computer before you start editing. If you're on a PC, use Ctrl-Alt-Delete and go to your task manager and go to processes to see what programs you have open already that's using up your processor's power. Close down or force quit any unnecessary programs to free up more power for your editing. You might find a bunch of programs running in the background here that you had no idea about. Have a go at uninstalling these if they're using a significant amount of power. Pro tip number 3, my final tip relates to storage on your computer. How full are your hard drives? Computers generally run a lot slower when your hard drives are nearly full, especially your boot drives with your operating system on them. I recommend investing in an external hard drive. When you download your huge video files from your filming for editing, copy them onto your external drive rather than clogging up your computer's internal storage. If you have an SSD drive, make sure your video editing software is installed on this drive, as it will start up a lot quicker than a standard HDD spinning disk drive. Well, there you have it guys. Sorry if those bonus tips were a bit gobbledygook. Hopefully they were helpful for some of you. So back to the editing process. For those of you that have a printer, I highly recommend grabbing my free guide on the fastest and easiest way to edit a video project from start to finish from the link in the description box below and print it out. It's basically the written version of this video in a step-by-step format. If you have the step-by-step guide printed out next time you sit down to edit, it will help you stick to this process and really learn the steps until it becomes second nature. I also have some free resources for all of the film gear and editing software I use over at videoshiftmedia.com. So thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on. Peace.